Very good morning. How is this Saturday treating you all? ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਸਲਾਮ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਸੈਟਰਡੇ ਦਾ ਦਿਨ ਆ ਬ੍ਰੈਂਪਟਨ ਤੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਹਾਂ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਅੱਜ ਹਿਊਮਨਿਟੇਰੀਅਨ ਐਂਡ ਕੰਪੈਸ਼ਨੇਟ ਗਰਾਊਂਡਸ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਦੋ ਖਾਸ ਮਹਿਮਾਨ ਜੁਆਇਨ ਕਰਨਗੇ ਸੋ ਕਿਨਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਥੋੜੇ ਚਿਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੋੜਾਂਗੇ ਹਿਊਮਨਿਟੇਰੀਅਨ ਕੰਪੈਸ਼ਨੇਟ ਗਰਾਊਂਡਸ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਕਾਫੀ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਰਿਕੁਐਸਟ ਆਉਂਦੀਆਂ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਕੀ ਇਨਫੋਰਮੇਸ਼ਨ ਚਾਹੀਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਸ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਰਮਨੈਂਟ ਰੈਜ਼ੀਡੈਂਸੀ ਮਿਲ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ ਸੋ ਵਿਲ ਹੈਵ ਮਿਸਟਰ ਰਸਲ who has experience of more than 25 years. He has been licensed immigration consultant from last 25 years. He's a senior immigration consultant with Brampton Immigration Consultancy. So he will be joining us within next few minutes. We will also be joined by Miss Abir, who has a lot of experience with humanitarian, compassionate, a senior member of Brampton Immigration Consultancy, a licensed immigration consultant as well. So today we'll be talking to Russell and Abir, both together on HNC. We'll answer all your questions live within next few minutes. Please stay joined and we'll be starting the webinar within next few minutes. Please do mention where are you joining from. Please mention your city and country so that we know where you are joining from. Within next 1 minute, we'll be starting the webinar. Sat Shri Akal, hi, hello, and welcome to the webinar of Brampton Immigration Consultancy. Every week, every Saturday, same time, we have a talk about immigration. Last week, the interesting topics were entrepreneur, like an Ontario entrepreneur program. Today, we'll be talking about humanitarian and compassionate grounds. Along with that, we'll be answering all your questions. You can ask any question in the chat box and we'll try our level best to answer all the concerns, all the questions that you have free of cost on this webinar. We do this webinar every week. Please do share the links with your family and friends so that they can also get the benefit of this webinar. We'll also be discussing the updates, recent updates, and is the border opening soon? What's going to happen in the coming months? Is immigration going to be easy or tough? So we'll talk about that stuff within these webinars. I'm going to invite my friend, Mr. Russell. Welcome, Mr. Russell. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you, and good morning to everyone in Canada. Sorry, good morning everyone in Canada, and good evening everyone in India.
You're right, actually it's late evening in India. So Russell, how is the rainy weather treating you in Brampton today?
So far so good. I love the rain.
So Mr. Russell has been working as a licensed immigration consultant from last 25 years. He is the core member of Brampton Immigration Consultancy, a licensed immigration consultant and a senior immigration consultant with Brampton Immigration Consultancy. We are so proud to have him in our team. He is really experienced with HNCs, and we'll be discussing HNC profiles today. What is HNC? How does the process work? How can a licensed immigration consultant help you during whole process. Before we do that, I would like Mr. Russell to introduce himself, share his experience, his full journey being as an immigration consultant.
Thank you. Thank you, Sandeep. And what I would like to do today is to explain to our people what is important to know if you would like to apply under HNC and what HNC is all about. So humanitarian compassionate is actually a provision under the section 25.1 of the Immigration and Refugee Protection Act. Therefore, it gives an opportunity to the immigration officer to exempt anyone from a standard requirement to apply for immigration to Canada. Absolutely, and certainly some people wouldn't qualify for that. But let's say for those who are illegally in Canada, who are failed refugee claimants, who are here stuck, and they don't qualify under any other program because they lost their legal status in Canada, would be eligible to apply. What is important to keep in mind here that you must have at least 12 months from the time you have failed on your refugee claim. If you received a decision from the Immigration Refugee Board, or your appeal to the federal court or the appeal division wasn't successful, from that time, once you receive this notice, you have 12 months to wait until you apply under humanitarian compassionate grounds. Now, what is humanitarian compassionate grounds and why people are interested in applying under this program? And is that a program at all? Can we consider this as a standalone application, or it can be added to any other permanent resident application? Yes, you can. And the answer is it's both. You can apply under humanitarian compassionate by making a special application and apply to Immigration Canada, or you can add a request to the application for your permanent residency and ask the officer to review your humanitarian compassionate grounds under section 25.1. What considerations officers are giving to that applications and what exactly he is checking? What he wants to see on your HNC application is establishment in Canada. He wants to see your ties to Canada. He will be taking into consideration the best interests of any child directly affected by the HNC decision. They will also do a comprehensive report and review on factors in your home country of origin, including adverse country conditions. He will be also taking into consideration health consideration, including an ability of a country to provide medical treatment, which is very important to some of you and important to those who might not have the same opportunity to use Medicare in your home country. One of the core things here is also family violence considerations. Let's say that someone is in Canada and someone has married a Canadian citizen or permanent resident, have applied for permanent residency, was successful or wasn't successful, but unfortunately, the case is that there was an evidence of family violence. In this case, you can apply under 25.1, which is humanitarian compassionate consideration, and explain to the immigration what exactly happened. Especially it would concern those who didn't receive their permanent resident status. Now, separation of relatives, that's important thing, the consequences of that separation. Inability to leave Canada. This is for those who are in Canada and they have been stuck here. Unfortunately, they lost their legal status in Canada as a visitor, as a student, as a worker. They have been stuck here. They were working illegally, and they want to explain to immigration exactly what happened to them, why it happened to them, and how they established themselves in Canada since the time they lost their status. Now, ability to establish in Canada for overseas applications. So humanitarian compassionate considerations can be taken into review by the officer, even if you are overseas. However, this is a very complex process, and I wouldn't suggest anyone to apply from overseas under humanitarian compassionate grounds. if they then don't know if they qualify. So a consultation would be required to see whether you qualify, whether you have evidence that you have humanitarian compassionate grounds to apply. Now, anything unique, anything exceptional would be taken into consideration by the immigration officer when he will be assessing your humanitarian compassionate grounds. Who is a decision maker in this case? In this case, an immigration officer is representing the ministry, and therefore, under Section 25.1 of the Immigration Refugee Act, he is permitted, he is authorized to review your circumstances and make a decision. Now, let's speak about, we have discussed 12 months bar for those who are in Canada and for those who are failed refugee claimants or those who received a negative decision from the Immigration Refugee Board. Now, let's speak about best interest of the child. Best interest of the child is one of the key issues here as well. And the reason for that is that the Federal Court of Canada, actually after that, the Supreme Court of Canada as well, in Baker's case, made a decision that the interest of the child should be taken into consideration as well. For example, the child was born in Canada. For example, the child has lived in Canada for a very long time. The child has established himself in Canada. The child goes to school. He doesn't know any other country than Canada. Or he came as a child, let's say 2-3 years, and lived here for the next 5 or 7 years. That would be a strong humanitarian compassionate ground for the officer to take into consideration. Now, let's speak about what will be your chances and what your chances are to be successful under this program. The most important thing here is how well you prepared your application. What did you do to collect the documents? How many documents you collected? What exactly is in their documents? What exactly you would like immigration officer to know? This is very important. So for those who are interested in reviewing their chances under humanitarian compassionate grounds, should definitely have a consultation with someone who is experienced to do that. You may go to the website, you may review the internet articles, you may make a decision on your own. However, how good this decision will be, it's hard to say. Some applicants were successful to get their permanent residency on their own, but not too many. In fact, it's a very small number of applicants accepted under humanitarian compassionate grounds, because in Canada, humanitarian compassionate grounds is considered as a last resort. So it means that everyone who is inadmissible otherwise will use the humanitarian compassionate grounds. Will you be the one of the successful candidates? It's up to you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Mr. Russell. I'm going to come back to you. But now we have Miss Abir. Hi, Abir. How are you?
Hi, good morning, everyone, and good evening, everyone. Hi, Sandeep. How are you?
Good. How's the weekend, Saturday treating you? Like weekend is about to start.
It's good because I love immigration and I love to help people. It's no problem with me. It's a nice weekend and the weather is pleasant and we're enjoying our weekend. Thank you, Sandeep.
Perfect. So, friends, Abir is also a teammate of Brampton Immigration Consultancy. She is a licensed immigration consultant. She has a good knowledge and experience with refugee asylums and HNC. So, I'm going to ask Abir to introduce herself, give a summarized information about HNC, and then we'll also talk about few cases. Few of the cases that Russell or Abir has dealt, so that an audience can understand who actually can apply for HNC. I know so many people, they qualify for HNCs, but they don't know that whether they should apply or not. For example, if there is a single parent, like a person only has a mother or a father living, and whole family is in Canada, yes, that can be a good case for HNC. So दोस्तों, अगर ਤੁਹਾਡੇ single parent ने ਤੇ ਉਹ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਨੇ ਤਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ HSC ਅਪਲਾਈ ਕਰਕੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਚੰਗੇ ਚਾਂਸਸ ਬਣਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ PR ਮਿਲ ਸਕੇ so let's Abhi, I leave the stage for you and I want to hear from you how does the process work. Give us summarized information and tell us something about yourself as well.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Abir and I'm a regulated immigration consultant. I've been working with Brampton Immigration for a while and I have 4 years of experience with immigration. I mostly dealt with refugees and and HNC also, humanitarian and compassionate applications. Mostly my colleague Russell has summarized most of the important things about HNC. However, I would like to add some few things. HNC, humanitarian and compassionate, is not, it's a last resort, as Russell said. It's not that you've been refused for like a study permit or anything. No, it's not. It's for those people who are inadmissible under certain reasons, not all reasons, especially for security reasons. And the second one, if you have some hardships also. Hardships means that you have a unique case. That's why we usually say don't do it by yourself. Go to immigration consultant and lawyers because they have the jargons. They know how to present your case in a well-written submission letter that will represent your case and make like the immigration officials to exempt your request for an HNC PR application. The hardship is very important to know that not all hardships also, because sometimes we have other programs for hardships also, like if it's not under persecution is for refugees and it's not for HNC. HNC is for hardships if the person is well established in Canada, if he goes back to Canada to his country of origin, how hard is it going to be for him or her to be integrate to their community? And it's very important to know that how long you have stayed in Canada. It's very important how well established you have a good life in Canada. You have volunteered, you have work experience, you have your children, you have your community. These are very important. And when we submit an application, we submit those documents to support this case. It's very important to have a very good supportive documentation together with this application. And it's also for those people who do not qualify under any other immigration program. Like if someone says, oh, I want to HNC, and he qualifies under student or work or express entry or refugee, then this is not the case for them, because the HNC is a unique program. It's case by case, and there are a lot of considerations that the immigration officer takes into when he have this application.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No. I just maybe later on we're going to discuss the cases that we dealt with. But now, for now, we just see some of the questions, because I saw one of the questions is, I've been refused 2 times for study permit.
Yeah, we are gonna come on the comments. Okay. So Mr. Russell and Abir, firstly, I really want to thank you, because being Saturday, like you spared some time, and we are doing this webinar to help individuals so that they can get their permanent residencies. I also want to inform the audience that we are the next webinar. The next webinar is on Q&A. It's just questions and answers to all your questions next Saturday, same time. Ask us any question. Our full team of licensed immigration consultants will be live all together. So you will have not one, not two, not three, not four, at least 5 to 6 licensed immigration consultants live on one webinar next Saturday. So don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel and like our Facebook pages so that you can get regular updates. I'm gonna start taking few questions, but before I do that, Russell, I would really appreciate if you can share that story of HNC, the Hyderabad client that you had for HNC. So let's just to give a glimpse, like how does the process work? How did someone got HNC approval? And how did you help the individual to fulfill the dream of coming to Canada as a permanent resident?
Thank you. This case is very special for me because it happened quite a while. It happened 10 or 15 years ago. However, I still remember this case, even though I have done hundreds and hundreds of agency cases in the past 25 years. This case is memorable to me for the reason that the lady who arrived to my office was an Indian citizen from Hyderabad, and she unfortunately failed to she applied for permanent residency, but she failed to secure that status, and her application was refused based on credibility issue, which is a serious thing in Canada and is taken into consideration by immigration officers seriously. So she was refused a permanent residency as a skilled worker, and then she applied for a study permit. Again, she was refused. Then she applied for another immigration application, and she was refused again. So she was actually on her way to go back to India, and she was under the removal order. So the Canada Border Services Agency was dealing with her case, and she was asked to come to fulfill the papers and leave Canada. At first I was really concerned about the credibility issue because, in fact, she might have lied on her application form just to make herself suitable. However, it wasn't the case. And she was lucky in this case that she came to me on time. Actually, she came to me 2 weeks prior to her removal from Canada. So what happened in this case that we have prepared a very good HNC application, and that was almost 65 pages long. And the submission for this, a legal submission for this case, was 12 pages long. So it was explained to the immigration officer that it wasn't her fault, and the immigration officer didn't give her an opportunity to explain her case. So and the decision was made based on what was written by her employer and by someone else. So what happened in this case that she applied, even though she had 6 brothers in Canada, she had 6 brothers in India, 3 sisters in India. She had a husband. And that's not something that immigration would consider as a qualifying factor under H&C because she has someone to return to. And however, the immigration officer has read the submissions. He took into consideration her humanitarian compassionate grounds, her establishment in Canada, her knowledge of English, as well as her desire to come to Canada and enrich Canada by her skills, with her knowledge, and with her establishment. So she has already proven to the government, regardless whether she was refused or not for previous applications, she already proved to Canada that she is a good Canadian, and all what she needs is only permanent residency to go ahead and have a great life.
So Russell, I have a question over here. When you say there was an issue with the credibility, like how do you define credibility? Like in simple words, if audience need to understand what does credibility means as per immigration, how would you state that?
Well, credibility means that it's in simple words, it's trust. So the immigration officer has not trusted the applicant that the applicant provided a truthful information.
So that you say that the officer felt that the person is misrepresenting.
Misrepresenting, that would be the word. And in other words, it would be mistrust. So it means that the officer didn't trust what has been written by the applicant and what has been written by her employer.
Okay. Okay. So friends, I do want to mention one thing over here, that misrepresentation is a big issue, and especially in South Asian countries, we have seen that the numbers for misrepresentation are high, especially in study permits. I have seen this. I have seen people getting banned to come to Canada for five years. Recently, I think last week when we were doing a Saskatchewan PNP presentation, the director of the company, Tarnveer, was live with us, and he showed us a story where an individual was banned to apply under Saskatchewan for 2 years because he used a ghost consultant. So, friends, it's really important that you don't misrepresent, and it's really important that you use the person who are authorized by the Canadian government to represent you, so that you are in safe hands. So it's really important that you take care of all these issues. I'm going to share another story, and then I'm going to come to Abir, and she's going to share her experience of HNC. So we had a client. She was, I think, above 80 plus years old. A grandmother of our client who brought her. I mean, of course, the grandmother is the client, but the friend who brought her to our office was the grandson. So the lady didn't have a husband, whole family. So whole family means the sons were in Canada, the grandchildren were in Canada. She didn't have anyone in India to go back to. So we applied for an HNC, and a few months ago, she received a positive result and is a permanent resident of Canada now. So there are many people in Canada who may qualify under HNCs. I would also like to highlight that if there are admissibility issues, if there is a concern with your application which has admissibility issues, you might qualify for HNC, but my recommendation will be that you must book in consultation so that we can review your application. We can see what's wrong, why this decision was made by the officer, and what can be done to get an HNC. If you have the factors that you can qualify for HNC, then don't miss the opportunity to talk to the licensed immigration consultants and get permanent residency of Canada. Abir, I would love if you can share your experience, one story of HNC, and then we are going to go towards the questions and answers.
Okay, my one of the cases that I worked with was very unique. She was a refugee claimant that got refused at her hearing. And usually there's a ban for 12 months. However, she has two children and she was there for almost 5 years. So what we did is we looked at the reasons she got refused at her hearing first, and we dealt with some issues with the translator and not submitting her case well. So what I did is in the submission letter we said how well she's established in Canada. She volunteered. She also worked also, and her children were when they came here they were little and now they're grown up, so they go to school, they have friends, they have they have established well themselves in their community. And this was very interesting because we also had she doesn't have a passport, she only has a refugee ID, and she couldn't go anywhere. She couldn't go back like to Palestine, to Syria, or to even Saudi Arabia. She lived in Saudi Arabia for a long time, and her iqama was done, her visa was done, so she couldn't go back. And sh- we did a well submission letter, and to be honest, she was at the there are two stages for the HNC. The first stage was if everything goes has been approved, and the second is the consideration for the final decision, and she got approved with her and her children. We did submit all the supporting documents, her volunteering, the community. It was like amazing how the community, they wrote letters to the children and to this beautiful woman. She got all her volunteering reference letters also. It was amazing how the community wanted even to convince the officer that this family cannot go back anywhere, so please just give them let them stay in Canada. And they loved it, and they proved that they wanted to make Canada as their home. And that was a good case that I dealt with.
Perfect. So, like, this is a really good example. So, welfare of the child plays a very, very important role.
Best interest of the child is very important.
Yes, 100%. So let's start taking few questions, and let's see who has joined us today. And answer the like, I feel this is the fun part. I love this part when people asking questions, and I love to answer those questions. So we have Do Simply by Pradeep. He says, sir, spouse open work permit wale results kado tak start hon jange January 2021 the files lagi, please sir das do. So he's asking when are we expecting that spousal open work permit people will start getting results. So I just want to give you a good news, Pradeep. The numbers for the pandemic, the COVID pandemic, is going down now. I strongly encourage everyone to take the vaccinations. Recently, the Canadian government has announced people who have received their COPRs and were waiting from last March till today, received their COPRs, are sitting in their home countries, and were waiting when the border is going to open, will be allowed to travel soon. So they are allowed to travel soon if they have their COPRs and they are vaccinated. So that's the major announcement that came this week. The second major announcement was that our Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, in a press conference, when he was asked that when are we expecting to open the borders, and he was very positive, and he said that we are expecting to open borders soon. Yes, he did encourage that the people who will be allowed to come into the country need to be vaccinated. So if you want to enter Canada, do get your vaccinations done. You must have both vaccinations done, because it's your safety and the safety of Canadian public as well. So I feel, Pradeep, that soon the results should start coming out. So Dharminder Sharma, farm worker visa eligibility. So this is a good question, Mr. Sharma. My concern is that which visas are we talking about? Are we talking about a temporary permits, or are we talking about a Saskatchewan Farming Entrepreneur Program? Both are very different. So I would strongly recommend that either you please clarify your question, or please feel free to book your consultation with our licensed immigration consultants, and we'll be more than happy to assist you. Paramjit Singh say hello, sir. Hello, Paramjit. Ruby Ola, good morning, sir. Very good morning, Ruby. I hope you are doing pretty well. Jaspal Singh says hello, sir. Hi, Jaspal. I hope you are doing well. Karanveer Rana. So Karanveer Rana is one of our client. His, of course, I shouldn't disclose what the status of the application as of now, but I hope that we will be receiving good news soon. So Karanveer Rana, I wish you good luck. Gagan Lamba, Sashika sir, tell me type of work visa. So Gagan ji, work visas कई तरह दे हुंदे ने. ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਫਾਈਲ ਦੇ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਜਾ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਵਰਕ ਵੀਜ਼ਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਹੋ ਜਿਹੇ ਵਰਕ ਵੀਜ਼ੇ ਲਈ ਕੁਆਲੀਫਾਈ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ. मैं ਸਟਰੋਂਗਲੀ ਰეკਮੈਂਡ ਕਰੂੰਗਾ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਕੰਸਲਟੇਸ਼ਨ ਬੁੱਕ ਕਰੋ ਸੋ ਦੈਟ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਫਾਈਲ ਦੇ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਨਾਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਸ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਸਕੀਏ ਕੰਸਲਟੇਸ਼ਨ ਬੁੱਕ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਡੀ ਵੈਬਸਾਈਟ bramptonconsultancy.com ਜਿਹੜੀ ਮੈਂ ਹੁਣੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਕਰੀਨ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਕਰਦਾ ਪਿਆ ਆ ਇਸ ਵੈਬਸਾਈਟ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਕੰਸਲਟੇਸ਼ਨ ਬੁੱਕ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਹੋ ਲਾਇਸੈਂਸ ਕੰਸਲਟੈਂਟਸ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਵੀ ਟਾਈਮ ਇਸ ਵੈਬਸਾਈਟ ਤੇ ਜਾਓ ਆਪਣੀ ਅਪਾਇੰਟਮੈਂਟਸ ਬੁੱਕ ਕਰੋ ਤੇ ਲਾਇਸੈਂਸ ਇਮੀਗ੍ਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਕੰਸਲਟੈਂਟਸ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ So Avtar Singh Puller says, good morning, Ji. Good morning, Avtar Ji. I hope you're doing pretty well. Prablin Kaur, good morning, sir. Very good morning. Gurjinder Lubana, work permits when opens. So Gurjinder Ji, as I said, we are expecting that the borders should open soon if there is a big if the numbers keep on going down. And once the borders are open, I expect that every application should start getting their results and stuff. So Harjinder Pal Singh, Amritsar, Punjab. Hanji Harjinder ji, how are you? Welcome to this webinar. And so Abir and Russell, so when the border opens, we'll go to India for seminars and in Amritsar is the major city in Punjab where we have Golden Temple and really good food as well. So we'll go there and also meet Harjinder over there as well. Kaur Garewal. Okay. So Kaur Garewal, PNP process, please, of office administration. So Kaur Garewal ji, as you saw last week, we shared a success story of Ontario PNP, one of our client who received PNP invitation. So it all depends upon your profile. I strongly recommend that you book your consultation with us so that we can assist you. We have received really good results outside Canada for PNPs as well. So Karan is from Chandigarh. Meenu, Sat Shri Akal, sir. I'm from India, Patiala, Punjab. Thank you, Meenu ji. Sat Shri Akal ji. Kulbir Singh, anyway, convert a visitor visa to work permit. Yes, Kulbir ji, if you go on our social media platforms, you will see a number of success stories that we have converted visitor into work permits. So if you have a visitor visa and if you are in Canada, and if you need assistance to convert your visitor to work permit or visitor to study permit, feel free to contact us. We'll be more than happy to assist you. Gurdeep Singh Garewal, hello sir. For CEC profile in Express Entry, is it mandatory to have 1 year of experience to be considered in a pool? Experience about 7 months, but CRS points 375 will qualify for EE profile. No, it won't. No, it won't. Gurdeep ji, unfortunately, you must have at least 1 year of Canadian experience to qualify for CEC. Yes, you can qualify for Express Entry. The condition is that you have 1 year of experience outside Canada and you can qualify under FSW, not under CEC, because you already have experience of 1 year and you are in Canada. If you have gained experience of 7 months, that's fine, but that can only happen under FSW, not under CEC. For CEC, you need to have 1 year of Canadian experience to qualify. Meenu says, very good evening, sir. Very good evening, Meenu. Traveling Desi Singh says he's from Brampton. So, Mr. Singh, so are we. And I hope you're enjoying the weather today. It's a nice weather to have pakoras. A lot of comments. Okay, I'm so sorry, Rakesh Kumar ji. That's fine. So Rakesh Kumar ji, आज ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਹੋਈ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਉਹ HNC ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ, ਹਿਊਮੈਨਿਟੇਰੀਅਨ ਕੰਪੈਸ਼ਨੇਟ ਗਰਾਊਂਡਸ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਲੋਕ ਕੁਆਲੀਫਾਈ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ। ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਫਾਈਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ, ਬਟ ਅਗਰ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਫਾਈਲ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਕੋਈ ਐਡਮਿਸਿਬਿਲਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਇਸ਼ੂਜ਼ ਨੇ ਜਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਿੰਗਲ ਪੇਰੈਂਟ ਹੋ, ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਸਾਰੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਐਜ਼ ਅ ਵਿਜ਼ਿਟਰ ਆਏ ਹੋਏ ਹੋ ਤੇ HNC ਚ ਅਪਲਾਈ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ ਤਾਂ ਫੀਲ ਫ੍ਰੀ ਟੂ ਕੰਟੈਕਟ ਅਸ, ਵਿਲ ਬੀ ਮੋਰ ਦੈਨ ਹੈਪੀ ਟੂ ਅਸਿਸਟ ਯੂ। So Rajveer then says, tell me about tourist visas regarding, please. So for tourist visas, you need there are two things that can happen. One is that you are someone who visits many countries and want to visit Canada as well. You're more than welcome to apply. The second is that you have someone who wants to sponsor you for a birthday party or a marriage or some other functions, and if they send you a sponsorship, then you can apply for a tourist permit. I'm gonna take last three questions, but one of the question, the major one, and I want Russell and Abi to comment on this. So Mr. Smart Car Cafe says that I got 2 times refusal in Canada for study visa. Can you help me for that? Or can you provide me college with less because I don't have too much money? So I'm going to answer about the study permits and study visas, the refusal to positive decisions after Abir and Russell comment on this. But Mr. Russell, do you think that this person might qualify for HNC? He's outside. I assume he's outside Canada, and he got his visa refused twice. We don't know what is the reason of the refusal as of now. But like taking a random example that okay, he applied for a study permit and he was refused because of misrepresentation.
Well, it all depends on why he was refused his study permit in Canada. And I am assuming that, and what he's saying here in his message, that could you please find me a college for less money, I assume. So it means that he didn't have enough money, and the reason could be that he didn't have enough funds to prove to the government that he would be able to pay for his studies, as well as to stay in Canada and pay for his rent, accommodation, food, and other expenses. So that could be the possible reason for refusal. And if this is the possible reason for refusal, in this case, agency grounds wouldn't be the best application to make.
Sorry, so will it be the best application to make, or wouldn't it be?
Would not be. It would not be. Yeah, right. He wouldn't qualify, unfortunately, because being refused for a study permit does not give him enough grounds to qualify under HNC.
Right. But Mr. Smart Car Cafe, if you go on our social media, you will see that we had clients with 10-year gap. We had clients with 7, 8 refusals. And with this strong team, we were fortunate enough to convert those negative decisions into positive results. So I would strongly recommend that if you see the number on the screen.
Yes, book an appointment.
The other thing to add here for that person, Smart Car Cafe, I mean, is that he might apply for his study permit again. Yep. And if he would consult with us, we would suggest what should be done in order to be successful with his study permit. And right. Perhaps HNC is not his application. Right. Perhaps he will be able to study, then receive his postgrad work permit, work in Canada, and apply under Canadian experience class rather than applying HNC, which I assume he wouldn't qualify for now.
100%. So this is our India office number. If you're in India, please feel free to contact our India office, or you can book your consultation with us, and we will be more than happy to assist you. So as I mentioned before, the website is bramptonconsultancy.com, and we can surely answer the concerns. So they are real. Okay, this is Jasmine Karmangat. Jasmine is one of our client, and she's asking, is there any update regarding TR to PR? So friends, I'm live at this moment, and I'm going to be very honest that we had around 124 clients, those who submitted their applications on the very first day. We have not heard even a single reply as of now. Yes, on social media platforms, I have seen many people who have shared that their clients have received AORs, but we have not received AORs. We are waiting for AORs. And Jasmine, trust me, your AOR will be one of those who will be receiving theirs. So good luck to you. And I'm expecting the AORs to start coming soon. Kulbir Singh, any option for which person have a valid to review to convert into work permit? Right now, I'm in India. So, Kulbir ji, if you are in Canada, we can surely assist you with that. Okay, so this is today's question. Suneet Sani, what about the single mother? Please share about this. So, Suneet, as we need to discuss more on this, but on the basic criteria on like just with the incomplete application, incomplete information, yes. If it's a single mother, it can be a good case. We need more information on it, but I would strongly recommend to book your consultation right away so that we can assist you with this. Do you want to add anything to this, Abir or Russell?
As a single mom, maybe she has been here for a long time, and she might have been working, I can say,
Yeah, so
illegally also.
let's not go into
and
the profile, but let's assume that she's a single mother and
yes,
she's
single
in
mother
Canada.
with children, and she has
Yeah,
established herself. This would be the good case where
it
we
can be a
can,
good case.
yeah.
It can be a good case, 100% right. So, Kaur Garewal, sir, if without job offer one wants to get PNP, which state is best? So, Kaur Garewal ji, it all depends upon your profile to profile. You might qualify for Saskatchewan, or you might be an IT individual and you might qualify for Ontario. So we don't know your profile. I would strongly recommend you to book your consultation so we can see your profile, we can discuss about the different options, and you can choose which option suits you the most. Okay, last three questions, and then my IT team is asking me to finish it. But last three questions, and we'll have to finish this. Hello, sir. Can we have webinar on PNP? How to qualify under various PNPs, and how can Brampton Immigration help get sponsorship in the PNP? Sukhpreet Singh. So it's a really nice question and very demanding question. That's the only reason that we keep on doing webinars on different topics. If you remember, we did a webinar, and that is on YouTube and on our Facebook page last week on Saskatchewan PNP, last week on Ontario Entrepreneur. Next week, as I said, that we'll have an open question and answer session. Ask us any question related to immigration consultancy, not one, not two, not three, not four, at least 5 to 6 licensed immigration consultants who are part of Brampton Immigration Consultancy will be live to answer all your questions. So please don't forget to join next week. Next week will be a really interesting session, and there will be a lot of stuff that we'll learn from each other. Okay, let's take the last question, and I think we should finish now. Okay. Ramanathan Mutian. So if I pronounced your name wrong, I'm so sorry. My age is 44. It's possible to immigrate to Canada under PR. I am MBA graduate and 16 years of work experience. Ramanathan, I would say yes. We'll surely have to see what's your IELTS score. If you are married, what's your spouse education, what's your spouse IELTS score, if you know French, if you don't know French, you might qualify for one of the PNPs, or you might qualify for n number of PNPs. Just to let you guys know that if you know English and French, and if you know French, you get 50 extra points in express entry. So if you don't know French, start learning French. And just to let you guys know that Brampton Immigration Consultancy do offer French and English classes. So if you need assistance with French or English classes, feel free to contact us, and we will be more than happy to assist you. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you, Russell, for joining. Thank you, Abir, for joining. I hope this session was good for everyone. They learned a lot from this. And if you liked the session, or if you want to give your feedback, please do give us your feedback so that we can improve ourselves and do more webinars to give you the right information, to give you the information that you want, and fulfill your dreams to come to Canada as a permanent resident. Please, as the Canadian government says, just use the licensed immigration consultants, Canadian licensed immigration consultants, and Canadian lawyers, because using ghost consultant can also if it's found that you're using a ghost consultant, the officer has right to refuse your application. I'm gonna take last comments from Mr. Russell and Abir before we finish. Yes, Russell.
Uh, just one more thing to those who are in Canada, and I think it's important to mention that if you are in Canada and if you lost all your hopes, you are without legal status, you are waiting for Canada Border Service Agency to call you and remove you from Canada. It's not end of it. So in this case, please consult as soon as possible, because if you have been giving your pre-removal risk assessment, you can apply for H&C. We can delay your removal based on the fact that you have already applied for H&C and it has been processed for 1 or 2 years. And the immigration officers at Canada Border Services Agency are very understanding of what's going on. They don't want to deport people, but they don't want people to stay illegally here. So if you are illegally here, please make your decision, make up your mind what you want to do next before the government contacts you and remove you from Canada.
This is very important
for your inquiries.
This is very important point, and I'm gonna say the same thing once more, that if your status has expired, if you are illegal in Canada, please don't wait for CBSA to come and ask you to leave the country. Contact us today so that we can help you, we can assist you and save you and try to save you so that you don't get deported, and we can provide our legal services to assist you and save your deportation, save you from deportation. Yes, Abhi, last comments from you.
No, I just wanted to thank everyone for attending our webinars, and we'll be more than happy to help them once they book their consultation, because the thing is we have to see their circumstances and their case, because HNC for me, it's a case by case application. You've never seen like any cases with similar conditions and everything is the same. No, it's not. It's different. So if you feel that you have a good case, please do contact us and we'll be more than happy to please you. And
Perfect. Perfect. So, Mr. Soham, sir, I have a truck driver. I am a heavy truck driver in Kuwait, so I want a truck LMI. So, Soham, of course, please feel free to book your consultation with our licensed immigration consultants, and we'll try to help you as much as possible. And assist you with your permanent residency or work permits. Thank you so much for joining, friends. Next week, same time, on the same platform, we'll see you with more friends. I hope that Russell and Abir will also be joining us. Along with that, Mr. Tanveer, Miss Vicky, and Miss Saman will also be part of the webinar. All licensed immigration consultants of Brampton Immigration Consultancy will be live to answer all your questions. Anything about immigration, get your questions answered in one webinar on one platform. Next week, next Saturday, same time. Take care.